Hello fellow translators. So in today's video I'm going to be predicting the future. I'm going to take out my crystal ball and I'm going to predict what will happen in the future so that you guys can know and it'll help everyone out. Sorry about that, I needed some coffee. Anyway, I'm not going to predict the future obviously, but I am going to talk about what I already did a video where I talked about where I think work and translation is going to go with this virus and with everything that's been going on. And I kind of wanted to expand on that today and see what I think is happening or what I see happening and how I think this is going to continue. And then I'd love to hear your thoughts and how, if you think I'm right or wrong or what other tweaks you might think might happen, feel free to let me know in the comments. But I kind of want to talk about where I see things going. I think all of us are working from home because we're in lockdown and all that good stuff, all that not so good stuff. And it seems like this is probably going to continue for a while. Even when they start opening up slowly, a lot of people are kind of iffy about hanging out in big crowds and having a lot of people around them. And a big thing, I know this is happening in the States and other places, but in the States they're calling it the fear of jerks. And that's the main reason is you don't know other people, how careful they've been. And so it's just going to be this whole thing. And I feel while we don't have a vaccine, and then next year, who knows, there's going to be another flu coming out or something like that. I think people are going to be iffy for a while about that. And I think a lot of people also got used to working from home or getting used to it now, and they're going to continue. We've already seen several companies, Twitter, Google, I think Square as well, said that they can all work from home from now on. And I know other companies are saying they're going to make it more flexible and stuff like that. So we're going to see a lot of this going on, and a lot more people are going to be used to dealing with people working from home, and there's going to be a lot less face-to-face meetings, a lot fewer people, a lot fewer opportunities to meet face-to-face. So what's going to change? I think a lot of it, working online is something that in a way we have sort of an advantage with because we've already been working online. That's kind of how freelance translation is structured or the freelance world in general. But a big part of it, as always, and as I've mentioned before, as I belabor quite a bit in other videos, my course, everywhere, is trust. And trust is going to be a huge thing. And I think it's going to be reflected very much in our online social profiles, social media profiles. This can go from Twitter to Facebook to LinkedIn, whatever it might be. I think LinkedIn is going to be used more and more and more, and it already is being used more and more and more. But I think it's going to continue doing so, and I think a lot of what we do in day-to-day is going to spill over. There's going to be a lot more intersection between our personal and business life. I don't think that can be helped. And the reason for this is that it promotes trust. If you see my business persona, let's say on LinkedIn, then that's fine. But if you see more videos of me at home, you see these videos that I do a day in the life here, or I just talk about stuff that's going on in my life and things around me and share updates and everything that's going on, then you get more of a feel for me. And subconsciously this means you tend to trust me a little bit more. And I think this will happen in general. If someone's just purely 100% professional, you're like, okay, that's fine. But if they start adding little personal tidbits about them into it and you start getting a feel for them as a person, this will promote trust. And when all the work you're doing is online, trust is a huge factor. And so any way that you can promote this, I think helps. And, I see a lot of this. I mean, even just a normal, on your pros.com profile, stuff like that, people who use pictures, I think it promotes a lot more trust. Or if you have videos, like a personal introduction via video, that helps a lot as well. And I think there's going to be a lot more of this. A lot more people maybe will ask for short interviews on Zoom or stuff like that as well. But I think a lot of this is to promote this trust. And if you can already have that through your online profiles, this can help a lot. Whatever it might be for you. And I think if it's anything you feel uncomfortable with, you shouldn't be doing it because it's going to show that you feel uncomfortable with it. But if you can sort of just find ways that you are comfortable sharing what you do, what you like, maybe your interests and hobbies or places that you hang out or whatever it might be, then that can go a long way over the long term. Obviously not at once, but over the long term into kind of sharing the person you are. And over time, I think it'll sort of settle and we'll figure out how it is. And it's probably different for different people. But, if you end up using, say, LinkedIn a lot, then yeah, that you'll get comfortable with what you can share on LinkedIn, what you can't. Now LinkedIn has apparently already even has stories. like Instagram, like Facebook, these, the things that disappear after 24 hours, you can share that with the LinkedIn app on your phone. So you're getting a lot more of stuff like this, and I think it's you're going to see a lot more of this as time goes on. And another aspect that I think, and it's sort of tied to this, but another aspect is travel. Travel will be avoided by many people for the reasons I stated before, and also because travel, I mean, you have that times a lot more, because you have to be stuck in either a train or a plane or something with a whole lot of other people, and you don't know where they've been, and it can be quite daunting to travel. And so I think travel is going to come at a premium in the future, and a lot of businesses will still need travel, but a lot fewer people will want to travel. And so, they're going to do away with sending all their company to whatever resort for whatever conference and stuff like that, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on what you feel. But for us as freelancers, so how does it affect us as freelance translators specifically? Well, in theory, not that much, because we work from our computer, we work remotely, so it doesn't matter. But I think actually in practice, it could help quite a bit. And because a lot of these people, especially if they're doing business internationally, which, let's face it, when you need translators, that's usually at least one of the causes. You're either expanding internationally, you're importing, you're exporting, you have a business partner or a client or whatever it might be that's abroad, and so you want to, you have to deal with translations. Then, they're going to want someone in this other country or this other place to kind of get a feel. They can't just do everything remotely, but it'll help if they can have someone every now and then to check up on stuff, maybe just to have a presence there or something like that. Anyway, you never know. And I think going forward, if you are someone who's willing and able to travel, this can actually probably command you a premium. Because if you're just a translator, fine, but if you say, oh, I mean, this actually goes especially for interpreters, because interpreters who can interpret on the spot, I think that'll be held as a premium. But even as a translator, if you can say, I'm a translator, like I do Italian to English translations, but if I say, oh, I'm willing to go to Italy, and while I'm there, I can pass by the factory or the people you're doing business with, and kind of talk to them face to face, and et cetera, or go see the plant or the factory that you're dealing with or something. Anyway, if I can have boots on the ground, if I'm willing and able to do it, I think stuff like that can command a premium. And so I think being able to add the 3 words, willing to travel, on your resume, on your online profile, stuff like that, I think will be very useful in the future, because there won't be that many people who are willing to travel. And you never know. It could be for one of your steady clients, it could be for a new client even, and maybe it's a combination of your translation and the ability that you're able to do that, or whatever it might be in your own situation. But I think travel will come at a premium, and so people who are willing and able to travel will be able to charge more for it. They'll be able to get paid for it. Now, this is obviously only if you're comfortable with traveling. If you're not, then you shouldn't. And because, like I said, there are quite a few dangers with traveling. I think for me personally, actually, I really do like to travel. And so I would probably try to find out a way. I'm still not sure what that would be, short of going in a full astronaut costume and making sure I don't interact with other people. But we'll see how things are as time goes by. I know quite a few. In fact, a friend of mine recently traveled to Japan. He said there were 5 people total on the plane, 5 passengers. And I think 4 of them were him and his group, from his small business. And, because they've been together the whole time. And then there was just one other person. So anyway, I don't think flights obviously won't be that empty for forever, because airlines couldn't continue that way. But we'll see how things continue. However, I think travel will come at a premium, whatever that might mean, and so we should take that into account. And once again, that ties into the trust, because people aren't going to ask me to travel on behalf of their company unless they feel they can sort of trust me. And so I think having that online profile that conveys trust is already a huge step in this direction and will help out in that sense. So those are basically my thoughts going forward, at least a couple of them. I have other ones, but I'll save those for another time. But feel free to let me know if you agree, if you disagree, if you have other thoughts, and how you think things will continue over the medium and long term, and the way things are going now. And who knows? Who knows? We'll see. If they find a vaccine tomorrow, it still will take a while for it to for everyone to have access to it and be able to use it, etc. So anyway, we'll see how things go. But feel free to let me know what your thoughts are. I'd be really curious to hear about them and to see how you think things are going to proceed. And otherwise, that's it. I'll talk to you next time. Okay, thanks. Bye. Savedum.